So today I want to talk about hacking, and not the type of hacking that can take down a democracy, the type of hacking that you can do to your own bank account. There's a company called Monzo. I've talked about them in the past. I really like them as a company. You have to think of them more as a technology product than you do a bank in the traditional way that we know banks. And what they've done is they've done a collaboration, or whatever you'd like to call it, but they've made themselves compatible with a tool called If This Then That. And If This Then That allows you to connect one thing to another. So if Monzo, then that, or if this, then Monzo. And we'll go through what the tool is in a second, but it's really exciting. It is really exciting. And all those trivial things that you want your bank to do, no bank is never going to come up with these tiny little things to personalize your banking around your life, because it just wouldn't make sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the top 5 uses. Some of them exist, some of them I'm going to create. And I'm going to go through the top 5 uses of Monzo and If This Then That. So to kick this off, you'll need to download If This Then That. Once you've downloaded If This Then That, then you can have a little scroll down and look at some of the things that exist. Some of the things that I'm looking at right now is when you favorite a track on Spotify, tweet it out. So you connect in Spotify and an action there, and then Twitter and then an action there. So one of the examples is stop Sonos when I leave home. So the way you need to look at that is if leave home, then stop Sonos. And you connected location settings for leaving home, and then you connected your Sonos for stop play. So now think about what you can do that for a bank, and that's what we're going to dig into. Let's get into the top 5 hacks in no particular order at all. These are just 5 solid, good user cases of Monzo and If This Then That. One I really like and would love to have had when I was a student is pay me a weekly, monthly, daily allowance. This is a functionality that you can simply say, if Monday, pay X amount. So an example here is when I was a student, I wildly mismanaged my student loan, and as soon as I got it, it was like a race to be able to spend it. One thing that you can counter that behavior with Monzo and If This Then That, then you can work out how much you actually get per week to make it last till the end of the next term, or until the next payment comes in. And you can drip feed yourself, so it can be, you know, £100 a week, what have you. So that for me was like a really nice behavior changing, and it really accommodates for like students and people who need to watch a budget. So you could set a location setting for your gym, and every time you go to the gym, you can pay yourself. Let's say you call yourself a cake fund. What you're able to do is you're able to, every time you go to the gym, you get a little bit of money that gets put into your cake fund. So this idea of gamification and putting positive reinforcements into your own life using your bank is very cool. And I could just never see one of the big traditional firms doing that. It would just be weird if they did, to be honest. This is the one of my own. This is the one that I came up with. Every day it rains, it puts £1 into a holiday fund. So rainy days don't seem that bad, especially if you live in London, so you get quite a lot of them. And something that I created really simply, so I'll show you how to create that one. So what you want to do is you want to go to the top right hand corner of your screen, click the plus button, click this, search for weather, and we'll use Weather Underground. We scroll down to tomorrow's forecast calls for, and then it says rain, click create trigger, and then that, click on Monzo, and what you want it to do is you want to move the money into a pot. So if you click that, you'll see your pots, and then you click create. Just ensure that it's turned on, and you're good to go. Okay, another one, and this is similar to number 1 in a way, where you do budget allocation, but it's about automating that budget allocation and taking away that side of your brain that says, no, spend all the money on stuff you don't need. And what you can do is you can sync BMW car, and you can sync the software within the BMW to your bank account. so that if you run low on petrol, what it can do is it can take a full tank amount out of your if this then that and move that into a petrol fund or a petrol pot. And that way it just allows you to not get in that position where, and again, a younger version of me was doing this, which was where I was trying to kind of game the petrol station, where you put £10 in, or you put £5 in, or what's the absolute minimum. I remember at one point, I think when I was a student, it was a game of if you could like click it to get it just on £2. It's the amazing thing here, it might seem like these small connections and small steps, but it's changing behaviors by automating the processes. As soon as you put your thought process in and your selfish side of you, or the greedy side of you, or you know, the forgetful side of you, as soon as they come in to these processes, that's where mistakes are made. So Monzo have done an incredible job to kind of pick these minute, that feels kind of silly, but they'll have sizable differences, especially if you know, forget to save some money for petrol. I try to upload videos every 2 weeks. Usually I do. Sometimes I get too keen and upload like 2 every week. And then sometimes I can go a month and not upload it just by forgetting. What I can do is I can actually reward myself, and it's similar to my similar to number 2, but you can actually reward yourself for uploading a video. So every time YouTube sees a new video has been uploaded, then I will get £1 or £2 or whatever. But essentially, let's call it a sweet fund. So every time I upload this video, so when I uploaded this video today, I will have got £1 in my sweet fund, which who knows what I'm gonna spend on. Loads of choices: Smarties, Skittles, who knows?